concepts in the world, why does love feel so scary and dangerous? It is the most fascinating concept to me because we as humans and all species desire it, we want it, we crave it, we need it to a certain extent, right? The one thing that I have noticed in all relationship dynamics, especially my own journey of deconstructing what I call the illusion of ownership as well as the path of healthy connection, is that we always have the so-called devil and the so-called angel, right? The light and dark. This fork in the road path where we're either going to choose this love of passionate, instant connection destruction, or the one that shows up as consistent love, might seem boring to some, but it still has the same illusion of danger. And for me, it's fascinating because one, we are so willing to rush into. Like, I'm gonna go down the story time in a minute, but let's set up the scenario. We have so many energies out there where we're attracted to this type of person that we get along with them, the connection feels instant, the conversation flows, they seem like they know us, they seem like they get us, they reel us in, right, with a bit of hope and expectation, like this could be it, this could be the one, right? We always have that feeling of, maybe this is it. But also what comes along with that is some reason of anxiousness. We call it triggering. Some people say it's butterflies. Some people say it's their anxiety. Some people says it's, for me, they're all of the above. What I've noticed is that any time you meet someone where your emotions start to trigger past experience of lack, of not trusting yourself, but you're still willing to rush in and give everything, even if you know it's gonna blow up in your face, you're willing to try. That one is the most intriguing because it's the part of emotional intelligence that no matter how logically intelligent you are, it will take over and hijack your whole nervous system. Then there's the connection where you meet someone, you're attracted to them. They're not your usual type, right? We always say that it's not your usual type that's going to be the love of your life, but that's the one that becomes the love of your life. And I'm not saying that you have to, what they say, lower your expectations or date somebody that you're physically not attracted to. That's not what I mean. Type is usually somebody who you look at and you want because of how they look or how they make you feel, versus you look at somebody and you see how they look, but that's not the reason you're drawn to them. It's the curiosity of their intelligence, their emotions. They make you feel like a friend. It's easy to talk to them. You don't feel nervous at all. You don't have any high expectations. It is what it is. But it's more so about how, not so much because I said how you feel in the first one, but it's not so much about how you feel in this connection, it's about how you heal in this connection, right? So the examples are, I have been on this, I don't even know what to call it, roller coaster of love for quite some time, because what I've learned is, it didn't take me a long time, but it took me a minute to recognize I've made it past red flags. It's not so much that there's red flags in the beginning with my connections. I've played this video game for so long that you don't see red flags at all. Like, the person has a good job, they have a good intelligence to them, they have a good connection to self, they're responsible, they're disciplined, right? All of the things that you see on the resume looks great. But then you give them the job and they can't perform. And there's a lot of people in this situation where, again, they interview well, they know how to talk well, they know how to show up in a way where their first few dates, everything's great, but then there are the little things, the little gaps in between that you have to be very aware of, that you'll start to notice, where it's like, you are not ready. It's not about them not wanting you. You can have somebody who is completely head over heels, obsessed with you, enamored by you, interested in you. But when you learn how to read the gaps, you'll feel much easier to then recognize what we call red flags much quicker. Because red flags are like, okay, they're toxic, they're not calling, they're not texting, they're using you, they expect you to buy everything, they expect you to do everything for them, man or female, again, right? It's reciprocity. You want somebody who gives to you naturally and fluidly because they desire to, not because you expect them to. And I know a lot of people might get their hairs crossed on that one, but again, it's okay to know that you want to be taken care of and that you like being taken care of, but you can't expect someone to take care of you the way that you think is going to happen, because how they show up in love is going to be different than what you expect. Now, they can still pay for everything, give you everything you want, all that, but that doesn't mean that they're always going to drop everything they're doing to answer your calls. It doesn't mean that they're going to drop everything they're doing to give you what you want in that very moment if what you need is more provision-based. And so if it's more emotionally based, then you have to be aware of that too. So these are all the things that fill in the gaps beforehand, so that when you're walking across this bridge of love, you're not just falling into this gap of what we call red flags, right? Like, because it does happen. Everything looks good and you are so in the like eyes of goo goo gaga that you don't see the gap ahead, so that you just walk into this hole and then you're like, how did I not see this coming? Because the red flags are in front of you, but the gaps are right below you. So that's the part that I want people to start learning, is the gaps that we need to fill in before you even reach a red flag, right? So some of the people that I used to date, where I would say like they show up right. I am a very deep talker and thinker. So if you can carry a conversation with me that feels meaningful beyond superficial level, you got me hooked. And I don't know energetically how it always finds me, but they always say like you are what you attract. So because that's where I'm at, I was attracting people who were yearning for deeper connection, wanting to be open to something more than just the superficial. So we would talk about every topic in the world, and it was amazing. And I met this, and I can go down the history of them, but let's talk about recently. I met this guy, we were chatting, conversation was great for the first 2 weeks. We set up a date, like I would say that first week we set up a date, we talked all week, and we met each other. The connection was instant, sparks, all of that, very lusty based, but nothing happened. We just made out really heavy, and it was nice and it was fun. And they went on their merry way. Now, the second week of chatting, because we said like, let's make a date for next weekend. And we're like, cool, let's do that. We were chatting and I started to feel the conversation dwindle. Now, that's not an instant red flag, that's a yellow flag. But the gap for me became where they started talking to me in a way that felt kind of rude. Like it went from very lovey-dovey, cute, nice, polite to kind of like I would be chatting with them and it became that whole, oh, I'm just so busy, I'm so busy at work. And it's like, that's fine, I'm busy at work too. Like, I don't expect you to stop work to talk to me. Like, you don't even have to communicate that you're busy at work. Just get back to me when you're ready. That's that, because it's only the second week. I don't really care. If it's later down in the relationship, yeah, checking in throughout the workday is nice just to see that there's a connection there. But in the beginning, I'm not stressed about it. So we're talking about like the upcoming dating stuff. So it went from talking, check-ins, cutesy, whatever, to one day we're chatting and it's just a normal, we don't have to say good morning or good, all that stuff. I don't really care in the beginning, but like usually they did say good morning, so it was fine. So this time I said good morning, went with that whole thing. And we were chatting throughout the day. And then the day towards the end started to come up when they were just like, it's been a really busy day. I'm just feeling lazy. I just want to chill. Cool. Again, I don't expect us to talk all the time. So the next day, it started to become this pattern of, I'm just too lazy. I just don't feel like talking today. Okay, totally cool. I don't expect us to talk every day, but if you want to take time apart, okay, that's fine. But we do have this pending date. So I brought it up like, hey, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? Oh, I don't care what we do. Whatever you want to do. This is when I start filling the gap, because the first date, they were like, oh, we can go here, we can eat here. They had all these suggestions. The second time around, it was more like, well, as long as I show up, that's all that matters, right? For me, I know for some people, they might take that as a joke. They might take that lightly. I instantly get turned off, because for you to go from really consistently available to, well, as long as I'm there, that's what you should just be happy with. All I hear is breadcrumbs. If I show up, you should be happy. If I talk to you, you should be happy. As if I should be so ecstatic that I'm worthy of your presence. That's what I heard. Now, let's continue this because it makes sense. As we continue chatting throughout the week, they stayed consistent with communicating, but still kind of lagging here and there. Again, no major red flags. They weren't doing anything weird or saying anything that wasn't expected of a busy adult who has a life. But then the day came that we were supposed to hang out. We were supposed to hang out Friday, and they were like, hey, I'm feeling really tired. Can we push it to Saturday? Sure, no problem. Let's do it on this day at this time. They did not talk about where we were supposed to meet or what we were supposed to do. I already told them where we were supposed to meet, what we were supposed to do, but they pretended like they forgot. What are we doing again? Okay. This was Saturday. Saturday morning, they text me. Actually, no, it was Friday evening. They didn't say they're tired. They're like, oh, we went the whole week. Friday came and they were like, oh, I forgot I have a haircut. I forgot all about this haircut. It's at the same time that we're supposed to meet up. And I was like, okay, that's totally fine. We don't have to meet this time and at this time. Let's just meet up afterwards. Hit me up when your haircut's done. Okay, cool, I can do that. So the day comes, Saturday comes. I take my time getting ready. I've learned a long time ago, I do not do that whole, let me get ready all day and plan for this date and it's amazing. Because unfortunately I'm jaded and I've been let down and I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not gonna trust this situation. Until you prove that you're consistent in how you show up, I'm not about to go out of my way to do a bunch of extra stuff that day. So I stayed in my pajamas, I worked on projects, I did stuff to occupy my time. The time gets closer, so I go get ready, freshen up, take my shower. I don't put on my clothes yet, I'm just chilling. They text me about an hour before we're supposed to meet. Hey, my haircut's running a little late. Is it okay if we meet at this time? Sure. Now, this is when the red flags start to pop up. I already filled in the gap because I saw them falling off earlier in the week when they were like, if I just show up, you should be happy about that. That to me already told me that they planned on flaking, okay? This is what I said, when you learn how to use discernment, you will find out how to read the energy much quicker. So Saturday comes, as I said, haircut, they're there, pushed it back almost 2 hours now. They finished their haircut. They're like, okay, I'm done. I'm on my way home. I'm about to go get ready, I'm like, cool, all right. I guess we're still meeting up. So, because of that, the plans I had planned, we had to change and we had to do something different. So, me being me, I'm a planner. So I went ahead, I was like, all right, well, let's go find another place that we can go meet up at. So this person gets home and about an hour before we're supposed to meet again, hey, I'm just feeling lazy. I don't really want to go out tonight. Is it okay if we meet up tomorrow? That for me right there was the nail in the coffin. I was like, I do not care to get to know this person. Because let me tell you why. You're so lazy from what you're saying, and you're so tired because all you said you did that day was get a haircut. You're so lazy that you can't show up for someone that you've been planning to do something with all week long. That tells me that you're gonna be like that in a relationship. That tells me that you're gonna be like that in every connection that we have going forth. That your priority of wanting to do nothing matters more than my time, my presence, my excitement, me showing up, being available. You don't care. And so I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, no big deal. And honestly, I didn't care. I didn't even really get dressed that day. I was just kind of disappointed because it's like, I could have had other plans. That's when I get pissed off. It's like, I could have did something different. You wasted my time. So Sunday comes, I have other plans with friends. I go out, we have brunch, mimosas, cocktails. I'm a little buzzed. I'm loving it. I'm having a good time. This person hits me up last minute. Hey, I'm available now. You want to go have dinner? Because I'm buzzed, I don't care. And I'm like, you know what? I'm hungry. So I was like, sure, you can come pick me up. They come pick me up. We go to dinner. We're hanging out. We're talking. And it just felt off. It was just like, I just got to a point where I was just like, I don't even know what you want with me. I don't know what you expect of me, but this doesn't feel like a connection that you actually want. Mind you, when we first started talking on their profile, they're talking about something, they want a long a committed relationship, monogamous relationship, that they're ready, all this stuff. On my profile, I had just friends to get to know people, and they were very concerned by that. Like, what do you mean just friends? Are you not looking for something serious? So I opened myself up because I'm thinking like, maybe they want something serious too. They did not. They wanted to string it along and play games. And it was one of those things where after dinner, we didn't even both finish our food. We were both kind of like, it was just a moment of like, you can take me home now. And I'm that kind of person where I'm like, yeah, you gonna waste my time, I'm gonna waste yours. Go ahead and drop me off. So I play polite and do all the things I need to do. And you know, they dropped me off. We did a little quick smooch, felt empty, felt dead. And from that moment, we both never talked to each other again. I know ghosting is taboo, but I'm the kind of person that's like, listen, if I feel that the connection was already severed, I owe you nothing, you owe me nothing. Move along, that person disappeared. Now, someone new came into my life. We started talking, again, instant, not connection. It actually took a couple days because at this point, I was a little jaded. I'm just like, I don't trust these, you know, whatever, who cares? I don't have the time for you. I don't have the energy for you. So I kind of blew the person off for a few days, and you know, they kept being consistent and hitting me up. And old me would have, like, if I was truly jaded, like bitter jaded, I would have just ignored this person. I would have been like, oh, they're thirsty, they're whatever. But that's where the discernment of relationships come in, that fork in the road where you'll meet this one with all this chemistry and it's all super hot and heavy, and you give everything. And then when we talk about the universe testing us, it's not really testing us. It's allowing us to use our discernment to see, do we understand our own free will? Because the next one's gonna come in just as fast and heavy, but because we were burned by this one, we don't trust this one. And then this one gets all of the ramifications of having to pick up the pieces of what this other one did. And I don't know why it always works out that way, but it does. So the second person comes in and they're trying, they're persistent, they're talking, I'm just like, whatever. And at this time, I'm on the apps, I'm literally talking to 22 people. I know, that's a lot, but that's what you're supposed to do on the apps. You talk to people. And I'm just letting them dwindle down. I'm letting them dwindle themselves off because I'm the kind of person where I'm like, I used to be the initiator and the conversation starter, and I was a chaser. As feminine energy, you're not supposed to chase. I am a masculine body, but I am feminine energy. And I say learn your chart because your chart will tell you. My chart is very, even though I'm an air sign, my chart is very water heavy, and earth heavy. So I have a lot of feminine energy in my chart. So I know that naturally I am meant to receive energy. They're supposed to come to me. I'm not meant to chase. So when I met this person, I felt the initial, they reached out, they swiped first, they were trying to contact me. Now, mind you, the other person, I swiped first, and I was trying to initiate everything. And that's something I learned too. If I'm initiating, it's not gonna work. I don't, and I keep doing it, but it's like, if you initiate, it's not gonna work because you're both feminine energy at that time, and you're not meant to chase other feminines aren't meant to chase masculines or feminine. You're supposed to just receive, knowing who you are. If you're the masculine, go for it. If you have more fire or more air heavy dominant in your chart, yes, go for it. You're supposed to initiate and dominate and all that kind of stuff and then fill their cup up. But again, for me, I had to learn that it's about letting them come to me. So again, back to this person, we're chatting, we're getting to know each other. And finally we got to the point where I was learning like, okay, I was about to pause it because that beeping. Good timing. So we got to this point where the people who I was talking to dwindled down from 22 to about 5. And then they were still just one of the top contenders, only because the way that they approached me and talked to me, it never felt rushed. It never felt like they were trying to win me. Like, it just felt like they wanted me. Now, the differentiation between somebody trying to win you and want you is when someone's trying to win you, it's very quick. It's a competition. They're trying to make sure that they seal the deal. They're trying to do everything they can. All the love bombing, all the heavy texting, we gotta do this every day. You gotta be in contact all the time. Versus someone who just wants you, where it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna wait and be patient, but I'm not going away. I'm gonna be here. So I hope you know that like, this is what's gonna happen. And so This person continued to court me and continued to communicate. And so eventually it was just like, all right, let's exchange information. They asked for my number, so we did that. We started chatting, and now it's been very consistently communicating for about a month now. And I'm giving you guys fresh off the table, fresh off the, whatever you want to say, fresh off the press tea. So this is still a connection that is developing. It's not something that has full blown to anything. But the reason I like this connection is because we're allowing the time and space to communicate. One of the big things is I am very against, and I've done them before, and again, that's why I say I don't want to punish the new person for the old person. This person's long distance. And I was like, I do not want to do long distance again. And I was trying my best to talk to people closer and chat with people closer. But just because they're closer doesn't mean that it fits. And these people that were closer, it's like the closer they were, the least they tried, the least amount of effort they put in. The further away that someone is, it feels like they put in more effort. I'm not sure what that comes down to. So for me, what I've been learning is making sure that I'm not repeating a cycle of romanticizing a connection that's untangible. Because the thing about what makes love dangerous is that you have to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to say, okay, I have to open up to opportunities that normally don't fit what I desire as far as the perfect picture connection. Like, everyone would love to just be walking down the street or at the grocery store and you just bump into somebody and you're just both attracted to each other and it just magically works, and you start going on dates and you start dating. For some people that happens, and great. Some people it doesn't happen. And so you have to learn how to start learning how to read that energy. So with this person, I have been actively learning that. And I'm gonna be straight honest. For the first few weeks, because there's no titles. So we're not dating. We're not we don't belong to each other or anything. We're still getting to know each other. And as you should be in a long distance, you don't just give up your full autonomy. I am still open to opportunities. But I'm also learned that being too open to too much then also blocks off blessings, because you do have to choose a path. And so even though, and I've talked about paths of free will before, doesn't mean that this path is going to be forever, or this path could be forever and just deters in a lot of different ways, and you just have to learn how to shift with the movement. But you have to choose a path. And so I could have chased that one person that I had this intense chemistry with, and we lived closer together and everything felt like, oh my God, this is what I want. But as soon as I feel shaded, you're gone. I tell people, know your worth, because you'll save yourself so much heartache when you do that faster. So I instantly knew this path is not for me. That path remained open, and I met a couple more people who were similarly energetic to that blueprint. Which is why, again, learning your old cycles of repeat, especially your toxic cycles, you will recognize a toxic energy so much faster than someone who is healed. Now, a healed person is not going to come in looking healed. They're going to come in looking a little bit distraught. They're going to come in looking like they got a lot going on. But that is for you to realize, well, that's where I am too. I am healed, but I'm not going to look healed to everyone, right? Because we don't understand that when you're meeting new energy, it's not going to be perfectly sand, or like what we call smooth, right? You got to sandpaper off the rough edges. Everybody has a few rough edges that you're going to have to work with. And so that's where I started to really pay attention again to how the person allowed me to heal within myself while I'm still getting to know them, versus me expecting them to heal me because of the connection. When you expect someone to heal you because of the connection, it looks like trauma bonding, trauma dumping. Oh my God, I never had this, and I was always treated this way, and you treat me this way, and oh my God, you're amazing. That's trauma bonding, that's love bombing, I don't want it. When you meet someone who keeps showing up and allowing you to be you without expecting you to put on a performance, because I'll tell you, with this person, the one who blew me off and was acting all like fast and saying that they wanted this but didn't really want it, I literally felt like I had to step on eggshells to make sure that they did not run away. That's toxic. If you feel like you gotta step on eggshells, you're already stepping on eggshells, and you don't wanna be with someone like that. This new person, it sounds horrible, but I don't really care. I don't care if I upset them or if they're bothered by something I say. I care if I'm being respectful and saying things appropriately and being empathetic to their needs. But I'm saying, like, if I say something how I genuinely feel and they get rubbed the wrong way, they're not for me. But this is, again, where we have to be careful when we meet new people. Don't be so brass and so crass that you try to turn them off to see if they'll stay, because a lot of people do that too, where they start doing that testing thing of, well, let me see how rude I can be to see if they stick around. Okay, that's unhealthy too. And I know people say, oh, the meaner you are to guys, the more they want you. It's kind of true and not true. It's when someone who knows how to love someone who is used to being hurt shows up, they understand that they're going to get scratched a few times and they're willing to put up with it. But if all you're doing is continually scratching them throughout the entire relationship, eventually those are going to become open gaping wounds, and then you're going to traumatize them. And that's where you start getting good guys who become assholes. It's that simple. Good girls who become total meanies, bees, right? It's just that simple. And I'm not saying that it's okay, but we all have our villain era. If someone constantly makes you feel like they want you, but then at the same time they're energetically abusing you, that's when you start to fall into these gaps that I talked about earlier. The red flags would have, and then that's when you look up and you start seeing the red flag. The red flag wasn't right in front of you, it was above you. You're like, oh, I never looked up. I was looking all around, but I never looked up. And so when you meet people who actually genuinely want to show up for you, it takes patience, it takes time. You have to be willing to sacrifice your own ego and allow it to be open to saying, if I get hurt, that's okay. Because I know that I know how to heal myself. I know how to bandage myself up. And it's exhausting. I know people say, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it too. Girl, trust me, I ain't trying to do this over and over and over. But I've learned that what I have done is when I get jaded sometimes, I sometimes go to a point of overtly, again, making the person feel bad who doesn't really deserve it. And I don't mean I'm going out of my way to make them feel bad. It's you end up testing in a way that you don't know you're testing them. And that's the part where it's like, you gotta catch yourself. That's where you start feeling like this love is dangerous, because you start feeling like you're losing yourself. And in all love, you do lose yourself to a certain extent. I mean, it just happens. But if you know how to find yourself, which is, okay, I am not that thirsty. I do not need to be chasing anyone. I do not need to be pushing someone away. Just allow it to be what it is, naturally. When we have friendships, I think it's so interesting that when it becomes to like attachment versus connection, when we make friendships, we just make genuine connections. Like you meet somebody, you're like, oh my God, you're cool, let's just be friends. You kick it, you call them, you text them, you don't think anything of it. You meet up, you go out, you hang out. When it becomes romantic, it becomes this weird attachment where it's like, you have to be all these things for me or else I'm gonna fall apart, I'm gonna blow up, I'm gonna cry, and it's like, that's not fair. It's not fair to you and it's not fair to them. So what I've been learning is, again, I'm allowing myself the space to, again, not get attached to like the idea of what they could be, because many people have said this before. Don't fall for potential, fall for presence, and don't fall, grow, right? I mean, these are just play on words, but don't let yourself become so enamored and obsessed with somebody that the potential of what they could be, who they could be, what they could be to you in your future matters more than what you're currently getting from them presently. Because a lot of people will live on the hopes and dreams of what they can be and what they will become and the future that they've created versus the reality of the person that's right in front of them. And so for me, I am learning how to be present with the connection, allowing the connection to be presently with me, which means, okay, text them, talk to them, but don't start talking about the future too fast. Don't start going too deep into where you guys are gonna live and who you're gonna, how many children you're gonna have and all. Again, it's cute when it's a couple months in or deeper into the connection. Within the first month, keep it as cool as possible. Again, you can have deep conversations, you can have scientific conversations, you can have spiritual conversations, you can have whatever type of romantic conversations, that's fine too. Remember, romantic conversation is not just about future bombing. Romantic conversation is, oh my gosh, you're so attractive. I love seeing when you dress like this or when you do this thing with your lips or your eyes. It just makes me feel so sexy. And I feel so seen by you. And I just wanna, That's romantic talk. That's okay. But, oh my gosh, I just wanna be with you forever and you just make me feel so important that like, I don't need to be with anybody else and all that. That's future bombing. Learn the difference. It will save you a lot of time and anguish. So when we talk about dangerously in love, I'm in love, right? Okay. It's okay to be in love, but when it becomes dangerously so that you're negating your own present awareness of what you're supposed to bring to the relationship or to the connection, and you're only allowing yourself to fall for patterns of belief, that's where it starts to make you get lost and you start to become jaded. Because again, a belief is always laced with doubt. You can only believe something so much until you can't believe it anymore. Having faith in something is undeniable. It's what they say, unequivocal, if that's the right word. You can tell that it's like, this is something that has foundation. This is something that could last. This is something that will last if I continue to show up the same way that makes me feel safe, and if they continue to show up in the way that makes them feel safe. And you both honor that. Because again, the thing I've learned with this connection is the person has a lot going on in their life. I have a lot going on in my life. So when I start feeling like lonely or sad they're not here, that's when I go focus on making content, doing things that I want to do, going on a walk, doing things to distract myself. It's not easy. Don't get it twisted. Like you want, especially when you want something so bad, but it's just not there presently. That's the part of learning how to grow in love with self. Because when you grow in love with self, the person won't be able to help but fall in love with you. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. When you love yourself so much, other people can't help but fall in love with you. I mean, look at Cardi. She loves herself. I don't care if people say she's insecure. Having insecurities doesn't mean that you don't love yourself. Having insecurities doesn't mean that you're not confident majority of the time, right? I'm very confident, but I still have insecurities about my skin. I don't want to have breakouts and look crappy and look crazy. So if my skin don't look right, I don't feel confidently my whole self. Does that mean I'm not going to be able to go communicate and talk out loud and step in front and be a leader? No, it doesn't stop me from being the action go-getter, but it does make me feel a little self-conscious, like, ooh, how's my skin looking today? Because it's just been something that, again, we all have our thing that we love about ourselves. That's just one of mine. So it is what it is. So that's why I tell people, don't let other people dictate who you are supposed to be and how you love yourself. Because again, when you show up in relationships, that's gonna really help you define how you actually love yourself. It's gonna tell you, are you gonna show up for the dark energy or the light energy? Are you gonna keep showing up for the one who's draining you and taking from you and you're just giving willingly and over and over and over? That's when you're losing your self-confidence, because you're thinking like, if I just do a little bit more, if I just try a little harder, no. And I know most people say, well, if one is not trying, if we're both not trying, who's trying? It's not that. When you try, that means you're trying to prove something. You don't need to prove anything. When you just show up, that just means you're being consistent. And it's just saying like, hey, I'm here to participate, I'm willing to participate. If you're willing to participate, I'm still willing to participate. If I'm trying to get you to talk to me, if I'm trying to get affection from you, if I'm trying to get attention from you, does that feel like it's something that you actually want? Be honest with yourself. And most people, and that's in both connection, on both ends, no one wants to feel like they're trying more than the other. Now, unless you meet somebody who really loves the chase, let them chase, but again, be receptive to the chase. Don't just keep blocking it and saying, I don't want that, it's too much, they're doing too much, they're doing the most. Okay, well, what do you want from the person who wants you? Do you want them to not try? Do you want them to be nonchalant? Do you want them to feel like they're ignoring you? Because that's where people have convinced themselves that that's love too. Like, I don't want the person who is ignoring me and acting like they don't want me. I want the person who's showing me they want me. But at the same time, as they show you they want you, make sure that they want you and they're not just trying to win you, okay? That's the two paths, because when you're on one path, the path of somebody wanting you will get to that discernment. Again, every road has a fork, just like this. This is the fork, right? But then these are all the paths. So this is the path of wanting you. But eventually you're gonna get to the part of, are they trying to win me just to have me? Do they like the idea of me? Or do they really want this? Is this a game for them, right? This is all on the one side. On the desire side, on the lust side, they don't care. Once you're on the side of lust and desire, it's, you're available when I want you. You'll show up because you want me. You're gonna take what I give you. It is what it is. And that's where people get stuck. Don't get stuck on this side. Stay on this side. It's okay to, again, know that somebody desires you and really is intrigued by you, but again, make sure they're doing it for the right reasons. So no matter which path you take, you're gonna feel vulnerable. It's gonna feel dangerous. It's gonna feel scary. But be willing to allow yourself to open your heart, to take the time to get to know someone while you're getting to know yourself. Again, when we talk about real love and healthy love is gonna trigger you. It's not so much that it triggers you, it opens you up to new possibilities that you have yet to cultivate. It opens you up to parts of you that you have yet to explore. That's the part that feels like a trigger, but it's genuinely an activation. So when you allow yourself to become activated, that's when you really say, like, this is a power couple, because now they're allowing me they're allowing me the time and space and the gratitude for self to show up and then take care of me the way I need to take care of me, versus me always being closed off to that side. Because again, if you're always pouring all your love into someone else, there's parts of you that you never even knew you had. You never even knew you needed, because you're always taking care of their garden and overgiving them. And guess what? If you're always doing that, you will drown someone. You will drown what you're trying to grow, and it will never grow. And if it was never meant to grow, it's never gonna grow, and you're gonna wonder why, because you know that you see them getting stronger, you see them getting bigger, you see them growing, but you're not growing because you weren't meant to yield that field. You weren't meant to take care of that. So again, when you meet energy that allows you to take care of yourself and you feel yourself growing while you're with them, this is the healthy love. This is the love that you want to keep choosing over and over and over, because it's the one that is the most natural to the rhythm of life, to the rhythm of the universe, right? So anyways, I hope this makes sense. Again, take your time, be patient with yourself. It's okay to, again, if you meet someone that is hot and heavy, that's fun. And you're gonna, again, both connections can be hot and heavy. Don't get me wrong. This person, we first met, we made out like crazy. It was fun, whatever, it didn't work. This person, when we first met, we made out like crazy. It was hot and heavy, it was fun. But the distinguishing moment was me and this person over here. If I said it was okay to go all the way, they wouldn't let me. With this person, I was like, let's just be patient with that. And they were like, absolutely. I respect you enough to wait. And I also want to wait because I don't want to feel like we're rushing this. There's a difference, okay? Anyways, as always, thank you for joining me along this journey of spirituality, or along the spiritual journey. I am your spiritual tour guide, JAH. As always, I love you. Thank you for joining me. Check out my website, links below. Everything is there for your pleasure. Anywho, love ya.